Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Also in boxing, you can turn into a kangaroo and jump off the stage. Now, Tony Harrison was there promoting his fight. He was on the stage with Erickson Lubin, Fundora, and a couple other guys as they were getting ready for their upcoming fight. And Tony Harrison was getting heckled by someone in the audience. Now, when Tony Harrison was on stage talking, you know, his words are always pretty colorful. He always seems to be at, a 10 every time, just ready to just fly off the handle. But he jumped off the stage and almost got into a scuffle. He threw a punch at the guy. Now, at first I didn't know who it was, but it was Luis Arias, Cuba. Now, if you guys don't know who that is, the last time you probably saw him fight was on the Floyd Mayweather-Logan Paul undercard, where he defeated, Arias defeated Jarrett Hurd. Since then, we haven't heard from Jarrett Hurd. But you remember, Jarrett Hurd was at one point a unified champion at 154. And to see that Arias clipped him back then, you would have thought Arias would have went on to bigger and better things, but he just couldn't keep the momentum going. So Luis Arias was in the crowd heckling Tony Harrison, and Tony Harrison just couldn't take it anymore. He jumped off the stage and tried to get at him. Now, when you watch that, you can understand him getting frustrated, okay? And I will tell you, the way he jumped off the stage, I give him about a 6 or 7, okay? But because I'm comparing that to when Larry Holmes jumped off the limo or whatever it was and drop kicked Trevor Burbick, like that's a 10 out of 10. That's how you jump off of something to go out there and engage in a physical altercation. You do it the Larry Holmes way. Tony Harrison, man, about a 6, 7 out of 10, but it just doesn't come close enough to what Larry Holmes did, jumping off of the hood of that car and drop kicking Trevor Burbick. But on a more serious note, to understand why Luis Arias is frustrated with Tony Harrison is because Arias is trying to make that fight with Harrison. And according to Arias, after he beat Jarrett Hurd, his name was being tossed around to fight Harrison or fight Lubin. But Luis Arias ended up losing a fight. And after he lost the fight, Harrison was coming out saying how Luis Arias messed up the fight by losing. But the thing is, Arias said that his team was trying to get in touch with Harrison's team, and Harrison never responded. He even said he went on social media to try to talk to him and said, hey, has anyone talked to you about us fighting? And he said he didn't hear nothing from Harrison. So fast forward, Luis Arias goes on and fights on the same card that I think is Perella, the guy Harrison just fought. Perella fought on that card too. Luis Arias lost and Perella lost. They both lost on the same card. So Arias went back at Harrison talking about, hey, let's make the fight happen. And Harrison's like, nah, my stock has gone up. You've lost, so I got to make more money. And you bring nothing to the table. So Arias was like, look, it doesn't matter if I lost. The last time the world saw me with 1 million plus viewers, they saw me beat a unified champion. Somebody was a unified champion. So that's what they're going to remember. So we can still get it on. I'm not worried about the money. But Harrison's position at that time was like, no, I don't want to fight you. You just took a loss. But then Arias is frustrated because Harrison goes now and fights a guy. He's fighting a guy who lost on the same card that he lost on. Oh, he went and fought a guy who lost on the same card he lost on. So Arias is agitated because he's like, he was saying because I lost, he didn't want to fight me, but he went and fought this other guy who lost on the same card. So that tells me that he just didn't want to fight me. Now, according to Luis Arias, he feels that people don't want to fight him because he has a chin. He feels Tony Harrison is chinny as well. But Luis Arias feels that he has a chin, that he's a good fighter, but he also feels because he's not undefeated The fighters feel that he's a high risk, low reward type deal, and as a result, they're standoffish. So Arias makes some good points, but at the same time, Tony Harrison is trying to make as much money as possible. So if fighting Arias isn't going to yield the type of pay that he wants, why would he fight him? Just because this guy is asking for a fight? I just did a video about A side and B side. You gotta look at resumes, man. You gotta look at belts. You gotta look at your promotional team. You gotta look at who can put butts in the seats to make sure people can get paid when they want to get paid. Luis Arias puts nobody in seats. But that's what was behind Arias being in that audience today and heckling Tony Harrison. But on another note, when you watch Tony Harrison in there, he's always very vocal. His words are always very colorful. But he talked about losing his dad again. Talked about his mom still struggling. But Tony Harrison is grieving, man. And I hope that guy gets, it's tough to lose a parent. But when you watch Tony Harrison, you can see that there's still some struggling going on because he's on the edge, man. And to jump off the stage and just react like that, when he and Charlo were going at it got pretty heated. But it wasn't like this. And this is somebody that has a lot of hurt inside him. He's already a kind of temperamental person, but he has a lot of hurt. And he's going through it right now. And it's going to take a while for him to be able to come to terms with what happened. His life is never going to be the same. But he's got to be careful with these outbursts. And he went on to say, these people, now he used different words, and I just don't talk like that. But he said it basically, I'm paraphrasing, if these people don't want to give me my respect, forget the money, I'm doing what I need to do to take the respect if they don't want to give it. He's tired of people basically, he feels like disrespecting them. Now what Tony Harrison has to understand is, that first fight with Charlo won that fight, in my opinion. To me, Charlo got robbed. It wasn't that close. The second fight, Harrison was doing a better job, in my opinion, but he got knocked out. And the fight should have been stopped. It wasn't premature. Okay? So, because you're so boisterous, a lot of people are going to want to take stabs at you because you're loud, you're a colorful personality, and that's just what people who are behind the keyboard do, most of them. They want to sit there and talk trash. That's not my style. He's a great fighter, great human being, and I admire the relationship that he had with his dad. And I know what this man's going through, man, and I hope he gets the help because those outbursts, I'll tell you something, thoughts become actions. And if he's already thinking, anyone who I feel disrespects me, I'm going to make sure I take that respect from them physically through violence. He's going to end up in prison if he doesn't get his stuff together. You can't just go out there wanting to assail everyone. Like, you just can't go out there and put your hands on people. That is not the answer. Like, that is not okay. And they're going to be, and now that you got people out there who know they can really push your buttons and get you going, what are you going to do? If you take on every cockahole you meet, you're going to be a busy person. And Harrison needs to understand that. You can't just run around here wanting to fight and hit everybody because they're saying things that get under your skin. Even if they say something about his father passing. That hurts. I can understand the emotions. But no judge is going to say, well, I understand why you punched that guy in the mouth or you slapped that woman or you kicked that opponent. Because they have to enforce the law. And it's still assault. Whether you shove them, whether you walk by and bump them with your shoulder, whether you punch them, kick them, stab them, shoot them. It's all against the law. It's all assault. There's different levels to it. And that's the category he'll fall in and he'll go his ass to jail. So I hope he can get his stuff together. It's not what I want to see. But that's the reason for Luis Arias being frustrated and being in that audience and heckling Harrison. He felt like they could have fought twice. Harrison dropped the ball twice. Harrison looked for excuses out of it. He felt like Harrison doesn't want to fight him because he's a high risk, low reward, and he has every right to feel that way. I'm not saying he's right, but it's like, where would Arias go? Arias should be going after the biggest money he can get, but nobody wants to see him fight. And it is what it is. You know, he has to be more consistent, man. He did have a big win with Jared Hurd. You would think coming off of that he would have had something that presented itself, but he's still, it's like it didn't matter. It's like when what's his name beat Eric Morales. I can't remember his name. He was a light-skinned fighter, kind of a little bit of curly hair on his head. His name wasn't Raheem. What the hell was his name? I'm about to pull it up, man. You can see I can't stand not knowing fighters like Zahir Rahim. Was it Zahir Rahim? I didn't have to Google it. Yeah, he beat Eric Morales and it just didn't matter. It did nothing for his career. And that's kind of what happened with Luis Arias, man. He beat Jared Hurd and did nothing for his career. So that's what happened with Tony Harrison. We'll see what happens tomorrow at the weigh-in, man. Hopefully, at the fight, not the weigh-in, at the fight. Hopefully he can get to the fight without any more violence. And hopefully Luis Arias leaves him the hell alone, because Harrison is really on the edge, and I can see him just, on site, letting his hands go, messing up his money, messing up his career, because the guy he's fighting a battle right now that isn't visible, and he's got to figure out a way to deal with that anger, because people are going to keep pushing his buttons, and you just can't fly off the handle like that. But I will tell you what, him leaving off that stage, I give him about a 6, 7 out of 10, but he's going to have to do something a little more dramatic to top Larry Holmes jumping off a car and drop kicking Chevin Burbick in the chest, because that was hilarious. Anyway, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to all the veterans. Tony Harrison, get yourself some help, man. We're rooting for you. And as always, I'm in the breeze.